How's it going, guys? I'm Skoks, and this is Chicago Blackhawks Central. And today I'm just going to talk about head coach Luke Richardson and how he shined through a tanking season. So, if you look at what the team is today, right, you're super confident in Coach Luke, right? After tanking, selling off the roster, you can't feel better about this team going into the future, right? Just starting out the season last year. So 2022-2023 season, um, we went on a 4-game winning streak in the first 6 games. So we obviously lost the first 2 games, and we win 4 in a row, and everyone starts panicking, right? Oh, are we going to be too good with Coach Luke? Is he going to take us too far with this roster? But obviously, you're looking at the roster that has limitations of talent. Obviously, Patty Kane was still there starting the year. Tay started out. We still had quality players that were healthy. But during that 4-game winning streak, right at the beginning, in October, so the Sharks, Red Wings, Kraken, and Panthers. So we beat 2 playoff teams with the Seattle Kraken that won um, a lot of games getting to the second round of the playoffs. So that's great for them. And the Panthers, obviously, we bumped them in to the playoffs due to the final games that the Hawks won. And they should be thanking us for that because they actually made it to the finals. And that's crazy how the Panthers were on the brink of just being another team in the first round, picking there. But we bumped them in, and they obviously went very, very far, all the way to the finals. So this team did not quit the whole year, even with the talent that we had. Just a lot of grinders, a lot of hard skaters, um, not great shots, but just they had some speed, hustled in the corners, got to the net, played tough because that's what Coach Luke did back in the day when he was on defense. So we beat the Kings, a quality team, 2-1 in OT. So we won on the margins a lot of times against these good teams, right? So we beat the Ducks a couple times here, and obviously they were also tanking. So we beat the Ducks, Coyotes. Those are teams that are going to go, or those are games that are going to go either way, because we're both basically tanking. But it's just a rough team to play, especially last season where that draft was so important. And you look at the Ducks, they fire their coach. Their GM had made a few questionable decisions um, with the roster construction, but that's just a team that's going to go either way in the win-loss column with the Hawks because of how they played last year. And the New York Rangers, we beat them. Also, a surprising team to beat because you would think with all that talent that they have, they would steamroll us, right? But a lot of these teams underestimated the Hawks and how they played hockey, right? So we beat them 5-2 in December, and that was in New York. 5-2, 3-goal win. That's a big win just to get confidence, right? Because at that point, from where they beat the Ducks and then we beat the Rangers, we lost let's see, 6, 7, 8 games in a row, and that's rough for a team and their chemistry, right? So after that Rangers win, we went on to lose another, let's see, another 7 or 8 games, 7 games where it's the score was very, very lopsided. We lost to the Islanders 3-0, where the Islanders play a super. I mean, they play a super boring style of hockey, right? But they're a defensive team. They play properly, right? But just not super skilled. And they toughed us out that game. Um, and then we went right on to play the Devils, another 3-0 loss. So these teams that are just more skilled, I mean, they're just outskilling us, right? We were one of the hardest working teams last season. And if you watched majority of the games, right, which you would be a little crazy, right? But for diehard fans, um, including me, we watched every game, and you could see how hard this squad played. Um, yeah, there were some blowouts, right? 7-1 Rangers, the second matchup with them in December. That was 7-1, but we play a tough brand of hockey. You know, we always put up a fight, and again, due to the talent, that's it's just not going to go our way. So then we beat the Blue Jackets, right? 5-2, another 3-goal win, and that's another team that's tanking for the bottom, right? The Blue Jackets were weird last year because we're not sure if they meant to be bottom three, right? But with all their injuries, Boone Jenner, Patrick Laine can't stay healthy. It's interesting to see what they're going to do this year and how they improve, even after all their signings and all their trades for like Damon Severson. But it's going to be interesting to see them improve because they weren't supposed to be bottom three last year, even after signing Johnny Hockey, right? And then after the Blue Jackets win, we go on to lose another 5 games, right? But throughout the season, you have these spurts of 3 to 4 game winning streaks. So another 3 game winning streak: Coyotes, Flames, Avalanche. Beating the Avalanche and Flames, those are two teams that you would think would be powerhouses, right? The Flames, after trading Matt Tkachuk, they just it just lopsided. I think the talent was just not what it used to be. Obviously, after getting rid of some players there, but you go on and win another 3 games: Buffalo Sabres, Philadelphia Flyers, and St. Louis Blues. So another 3 game winning streak. That's great for chemistry, but again, it's panicking the fans that are worried about the tank, right? And that makes sense. We beat the Flames again, 5-1, total blowout, and that's where you look at the Flames and you're thinking this team's not serious. They can't beat one of the worst teams in the league regularly, and we already beat them twice. It's pretty hilarious what's going on with the Flames right now. Um, like they're trying to shed cap, trying to trade players away. It's very confusing. So we go on and lose another 2-3 games, and here we go again, another 5 game winning streak. The Senators, Maple Leafs, that was a great game. Vegas Golden Knights um, eventually won the cup, right? And Dallas Stars and San Jose Sharks, that's a 5 game winning streak, all within 1 or 2 goal wins. So very tight games, but we play a hard brand of hockey, and they toughed out those wins. One of the crazier wins of the season, it might have been the craziest one, the Boston Bruins. We beat them 6-3. I remember that whole game. It seems like we just suffocated the Bruins. Just outplayed them, outworked them, out hustled them. Obviously, they think they have all the skill, which they do, and they can outskill us. But we definitely outplayed the Bruins, and that's a very big confidence booster for our squad, right? Even towards the end of the year, like that was game 67, so that was towards the end, and that's great going in to the offseason, showing that we could hang with these teams. I mean, that's a top team, a historic team that broke record for the regular season wins, and we just blew them out. And that's showing what Coach Luke, Derek King, and our defensive coach, what they've done with this team, with the defense, how they backcheck, how they play in our D zone, or even how they carry the puck up and just being safe with it, right? and we go on to beat the Calgary Flames, right, 4-3. Um, that that is just another sign that once we play these teams, once we beat these teams, Coach Luke, he figures out a system, right? And this system is smooth. And we're beating the Flames 3 times in the season where they're trying to make the playoffs and they're trying to compete. And that is just awesome to see from our squad and led by Coach Luke. And the last impressive win of the season, second to last game, which was against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That was awesome, 5-2 blowout win. And that if the Penguins, they needed to win that game because they needed to make the playoffs, right? Because of their old core that they have there with Crosby and Malkin. But we beat them and we knocked them out of playoff contention. And that obviously all led to us finishing third in the standings. And, we jump up and get Mr. Bedard, Bedsy. So that's great to see. So we finished the season with 26 wins, 49 losses. Those are just the stats on paper, right? But when you watch this team play and how you see how they coach, he's doing his job properly. You can't be more confident going into the next season or even this offseason with Coach Luke, right? Just great stuff. Obviously, the power play wasn't great at all because the talent just wasn't there, right? But you got to feel great about Coach Luke and what we're going to see from him here to see how long he could survive throughout this rebuild. And I do believe that he can be our long-term head coach fit. He could definitely fit with us here long-term. I think he's great. He's a great speaker, great leader, just great schematically. You have to be excited about it. And that'll wrap up today's episode. This is Skoks, Chicago Blackhawks Central, brought to you by the Breaks Media. And let's go Hawks.